Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. Welcome to the 13th of January. You know, the 13th of January, and all the studies that have been done, seems to be the most common date that experts say that we abandon our resolutions. That's when the gym empties out. It just takes 2 weeks. It just takes 2 weeks into the year. You know, Ben Hardy, in all of his brilliance, he has a book called Willpower Doesn't Work. It's one of my favorite books from last year. And it's true, willpower doesn't work. And I started thinking about that, and I looked up the word will. What's the origin of the word will? What does it mean? Well, the origin of the word will means to determine by act or choice. To determine by act or choice. One of the things that I said last week is that we all make a determination that we're going to have a great 2020. But don't let the choices ambush that decision. How many of you made a decision to make 2020 your worst year ever? How many of you made the decision that 2020 was not going to be your best year ever, or that you weren't going to improve yourself? We all made decisions. There's something about this time of year where we reflect on the learnings of the previous year, and we look forward, okay, this year we're going to do these things differently. We're going to make these things happen. And then our choices get in the way. So how can we, and then we kind of level out. I say all the time, one of my favorite sayings, and I've said it over and over again, and I'm going to let you finish this statement. The enemy of thriving is what? Those of you that have been around me for a while, you've already answered it. The enemy of thriving is arriving. And when we have that arriving mentality, when you arrive, you're no longer in motion. And when you're in motion, though, you put tension between your activities so that tension, being able to pay attention, only happens when you're in motion. If you're not in motion, then you've arrived. It's the same thing. And when you arrive, that's the enemy of thriving. So the question is not what can I achieve on a weekly basis, but how can I be in motion? So if you set a target for 2020, a resolution that says you're going to do this every week, you're going to do that every week, ask yourself, how can I stay in motion with this? What's the smallest step that I can take to be in motion? You know, a kite flies, but it doesn't fly because of thrust. It flies because of tension. It's the same aerodynamically, the same laws that allow a jet to fly, but a jet flies with thrust, a kite flies with tension. And that's what gives it that motion. So when you're in motion, if we didn't put the tension in there, if we didn't add that motion to the kite from ourselves by creating that tension, it would collapse. It would arrive, and it'd arrive on the ground. And the way you put tension into your resolutions is you put motion into your resolutions. And that in motion is what creates that tension. It's kind of like a tension, if you will, to what you're doing. So my suggestion to you is, as you arrive, meaning as you stall out in your resolutions, ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take today to be in motion towards that resolution, and then celebrate it. Celebration is just an outward display of gratitude. Celebrate your motion. And you'll be surprised what you can achieve by the end of the year. If you just stay in motion, take the smallest step you can take every day. Don't get overwhelmed with your resolutions. Don't give resolutions. Don't give up on them. The enemy of thriving is arriving. Let's not arrive. Let's stay in motion. Thank you for joining me this week. Have a wonderful week. I look forward to talking to you next week. Bye-bye.